Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Saturday, March 18th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my $15 Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Saturday in college hoops. First up, let's go to the NCAA tournament as Princeton takes on Missouri. This one's going to be 6:10 Eastern start time. It'll be on TNT. Missouri's a 6.5 point favorite currently. Total is at 150. Now, we saw the 15th seed, the 15-2 upset with Princeton taking down Arizona in that first round matchup, 59-55. Very low-scoring game there, and really it was the Princeton defense the reason why the Tigers were able to win that game in the end, because Princeton's offense did not really have a very good game, and we saw them shoot 16% from the perimeter. They only had 5 free throw attempts, 60% from the line. They turned the ball over 11 times, but they forced 13 turnovers. They held Arizona to 7 offensive rebounds. They held Arizona to 18.8% shooting from the perimeter. Overall, I thought Arizona's backcourt had a miserable game, and it was really a one-man show for the Arizona offense with Tubella scoring 22 points. But other than that, it was tough to watch for Arizona. But now I just don't think Princeton's going to be able to do this again against a Missouri team. It's 9th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency. They take care of the basketball. They're a very good shooting team. Now, fundamentally, they have some issues. They're not a very good rebounding team. But I don't think it's going to matter in this type of matchup. Missouri took down a really solid Utah State team in that first round matchup, scoring 76 points, beating them by double digits in the end. It was a close game in the first 20 minutes or so. You could say 25 minutes or so. But Missouri in the second half of that second half, really strong, and I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one. We saw Missouri play really well down the stretch this regular season. Not a lot of people gave them a shot in that game against Utah State, but I like their chances to take down Princeton. Princeton, give them credit for pulling off that 15-2 upset. I think that makes it 7 of the last 11 tournaments where a 15 seed's beaten a 2 seed. We saw it with St. Peter's last year, and they went on a big run. We saw Oral Roberts a few years ago going to the Sweet 16. But in this matchup, I think Missouri takes care of business and wins this game and covers. So give me the Missouri Tigers. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, let's go to the CBI between Western Carolina and Charlotte in the first round. This one's going to be 5:30 Eastern. Charlotte is a 6-point favorite. Total is at 137. Now, I know the NCAA tournament is the most important show around right now, but these CBI and NIT games, still games that we can find plenty of value on, and I'm looking at these games for Saturday and going forward. And I think Western Carolina getting the 6 points here is pretty valuable in my eyes, as we see a Western Carolina team that played pretty well at the end of the regular season in a pretty tough SoCon conference, and we saw them win the first game in the conference tournament against East Tennessee State at the neutral site. We've seen Western Carolina win 3 games now, 3-1 in neutral site games this season. Prepares them well for this neutral site tournament. This is a Western Carolina team that shot quality-wise I think is underrated. They take care of the ball. They're 36th in turnover percentage offensively. A very good defensive rebounding team. They get to the free throw line. Not too shabby of a free throw shooting team. And Charlotte on the other end I think has been overvalued for most of the year. And we're starting to see that now in the last 3 games that they played, losing all 3 outright, including a really bad loss to UTSA back on March 2nd. We could argue UTSA is the weakest team in the Conference USA this year. Charlotte's offense is reliant on making a lot of tough shots at high percentage rates. They're 20th in 3-point shooting this year. But, there's not a very good offensive rebounding team. They virtually never get to the free throw line. And I think Western Carolina's defense is a little bit undervalued. So I think Western Carolina does enough here to cover this number. I think they have a real shot at winning this game outright. I'm going to take Western Carolina and the points here at this neutral site tournament. Next up, we'll go back to the CBI as Southern Utah takes on North Alabama. This one's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern. Southern Utah is an 8.5-point favorite. Total is at 163.5. Now, this is a total where we see 163.5, one of the steeper totals we've seen this year, and for good reason. North Alabama ranked 316th in adjusted defensive efficiency, 336 in turnover percentage defensively, 344th in 3-point defense. So, one of the weaker defenses that have, really in the country, you could say. And Southern Utah is 87th in adjusted offensive efficiency. Pretty good shooting team that gets to the free throw line a ton. They should have 20, 30 free throw attempts in this game. And they're also, not only are they efficient offense, but they play at a really fast pace. They're 30th in the country in average possession length offensively, 16th in adjusted tempo. So we should see a ton of possessions here for Southern Utah. North Alabama's offense not too bad either. They take care of the ball, a good 3-point shooting team, but shot quality-wise, this offense is overrated, and I do think Southern Utah is the far better team in this game. I think Southern Utah is honestly one of the better teams in the WAC this season. We're seeing the WAC play pretty well in the postseason this year. We saw Utah Valley earn a nice NIT win over New Mexico. We saw Sam Houston earn a nice road win against Santa Clara in the NIT. So I'm going to take Southern Utah in this game. I think they win this game by double digits. Should be a very high-scoring game as well. So I'd look towards the over. Next up, we see Houston and Auburn in the NCAA tournament. It'll be a 7:10 Eastern start time on TBS. Houston is a 5.5-point favorite. Total is at 131.5. Now, Houston had a little bit of a scare against Northern Kentucky in its first round game, a 63-52 final score. 11 points was actually the largest lead for Houston in that game. So it was a single-digit lead for Houston for most of that game. It was a 3-point lead at halftime. We saw Houston was a 18.5, 19.5-point favorite in that game, so it didn't come close to covering the spread. But I do think we see a much sharper performance from the Cougars in this game. I like them to win and cover in the end. I think Auburn's been overrated for the most part this year. And this is an Auburn defense that last year was really tenacious. They forced a lot of turnovers, not so much this season. They're also really struggling on the defensive glass, which is not what you want to see against this Houston team, because not only is this Houston team a good shooting team, they've got one of the best scorers in college basketball, Marcus Sasser, but they're also ranked 4th in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage. So if you're going to give them second chance looks, they're going to be able to put up plenty of points in this matchup. Houston team that last game against Northern Kentucky had issues taking care of the basketball. They had 17 turnovers in that game. I think they'll sharpen up in this one. Overall this season, their backcourt's done a really good job at taking care of the ball, 35th in turnover percentage offensively. They force a lot of turnovers also on the defensive end. Auburn could have an issue with that offensively. This is a team kind of relies on its front court. We've seen them have some issues taking care of the ball at times. So I do think Auburn got a bad draw in this second round matchup. I do think Houston wins this game and wins it by double digits, I could see. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Houston Cougars. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.